Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Okay, so people have been sending me this. So Trisha Paytas went, by the way, people always make fun of me for how I say Trisha. Trisha Paytas? I feel like I have to say it really sped up. Trisha Paytas. I've said that from all my time on YouTube, and I've made videos where Trisha has watched them, and she's never said anything. Trisha Paytas is that people are always like, oh, here he goes again, Trisha Paytas, and I'm like, Trisha Paytas. Like, I feel like I've heard Trisha say Trisha Paytas. Whoa, I'm going through a crisis right now on Trisha's name. Trisha Paytas. Wait, what did I normally say? Trisha Paytas. Wait. Hold on, maybe I agree with you. Trisha Paytas. Wait, I agree with you, actually. Trisha Paytas. So I've been saying Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas. Okay, I do think it's just my accent, but I'll try to say Trisha Paytas moving forward. All right, so anyway, long intro. So Trisha Paytas went on, I feel so American whenever I say it, went on the Zack Sang show, and a lot of people were sending me this. It originally aired on Twitch, I think, and everyone was sending me these clips from the Spill Some Tea With Me TikTok page, which just is so phenomenal. Like, if you ever want quick updates, like before you will even realize that they are out, the Spill Some Tea With Me page is just phenomenal. Shout out to them if you're watching this. Hey, they re-upload my videos before I even upload them whenever I was doing Twitch and stuff, and I was like, you're so good at what you do. So I would recommend going and following them if you enjoy all of this. So Trisha went on, and I saw that Spill Some Tea With Me posted it, and I also saw the Colleen Ballinger Reddit posted it. A lot of people were tagging me on it on Twitter and in my Instagram DMs. So I'm going to give you what you want, and I am going to react to it, hear what she has to say. Trisha has been very outspoken about Colleen, but recently she said that she doesn't, kind of want to talk about that. So I'm very intrigued to see what she has to say. Also, I'm getting so close to 60,000 subscribers on my second channel. I think I'm 1,000 people away. My recent video on there is me trying sushi and trying to get over my fish fear because I'm going to Japan. Didn't go well. I'm also doing vlogs. While you're watching this, I'm going to be in New York, and I'm going to be vlogging every single day while I'm over there. So if that's anything that would interest you, my second channel will be linked down below. Again, getting so close to 60,000 subscribers, and as you can see, it was not a great experience. But let's get to this. Why does this literally look like I'm about to get my school photo taken with this background? Hello everyone, happy December, happy end of year. I hope you're all feeling festive and Christmassy, and if you're not, I'm here to give you some of that joy. All right, this video is sponsored by adamandeve.com for a final time this year. We are approaching that time where we are buying gifts for other people and also hopefully buying stuff for ourselves, because that is equally as important, because we have had a year collectively, so go and treat yourself as well. If you go over to adamandeve.com and use the code ADAM50, what do you think you get? 50% off one item? Yeah. And free shipping in the US and Canada? Yeah. I feel like that's the first time I've done this deal, by the way, where I've been in America. So hey, y'all want free shipping and 50% off? Use the code. So if you go over there, adamandeve.com, they have so many different things as well. They have things that are self-care. They have a bunch of fun games over there. They have things for people who are in relationships, people who are single. The variation is crazy. Now, if you're not happy with any product that you would get, which you will be, you do have a 90-day no-hassle return, which is amazing. 90 days is a long time if you think about it. They also have 24/7 customer service, so you're able to talk to them very easy and very freely. Also, if you're not in the US and Canada, they also do delivery, which is really quick to us as well, because I get my stuff whenever I'm back in the UK and Ireland. Now, the thing about Adam and Eve that I'm really happy to stand behind them and really proud to stand behind them, and we have now for I think 3 or 4 years that they have been a sponsor on my channel, is that a bunch of their proceeds goes to helping fighting the spread of HIV all around the world. And I just think a company that you get amazing products with, this amazing discount, Adam 50 off, one item free shipping US and Canada, I think as well, to know that they're doing good with their company, I'm just very proud to stand behind them. And I also want to thank everyone who supports this deal, who has supported it throughout the year, because this is the main support where I get to continue making YouTube videos. I appreciate Adam and Eve coming back and always supporting me. I appreciate you using it. Again, if you want to go and treat yourself, it is Adam50 is the code on adamandeve.com. And yeah, I hope you're all having a great Christmas. Thank you so much, Adam and Eve, for always supporting me. Thank you, Muckers, for always supporting this deal. You have no idea how this is the main support of my YouTube channel. So again, Adam50, 50% off one item and free shipping in the US and Canada, shipping everywhere else this way. 90-day no-hassle return, 24/7 customer service. A bunch of their proceeds goes to helping fighting the spread of HIV all around the world. They're over 50 years in the game. What's not to love about them? So I will see you in my next one, and go buy things for your friends, but also buy things for yourself. More important. All right, on with the video. So Zack Sang and Trisha talk about Colleen. Trisha Paytas talks about Colleen. Let's get to, first of all, what are the responses? This is before I've even watched it, by the way. I saw the Spill Some Tea With Me video, but I didn't watch it because I wanted to do it on here with you. Ooh, Zack called out the monster, his word, beneath the surface and identified that Colleen is the character, not Miranda. Good for him for speaking and spreading the dark truth about her. Dang, Trisha said she and Moses paid for everything for the Oversharing podcast, which is the one they did together, and they lost a lot of money on it because of Colleen. Plus, Colleen wouldn't allow Trisha to use Audioboom as the podcast distributor because she was afraid that Trisha would be the one that caused the podcast to get cancelled. Then Relax might lose sponsors. Relax. Oh, Colleen's podcast, Relax. Relax might lose sponsors. Colleen is such a cheap ass. How ironic now that Trisha's podcast is doing great and Colleen is dormant. Karma. I find it interesting that Zack said he's known Colleen through social circles, but never had her on the show because he always thought that she was a jealous, conniving person. Spot on intuition. Sorry, this is literally cut off. Zack was spot on. Exact description. Watching this makes me really sad. I also realized Colleen can't do any interviews again. People would ask about the allegations that she refuses to talk about. And if they didn't, the interviewer would be toast. I don't watch Trisha, but doesn't she also exploit her kid? But she criticizes Colleen for the same thing. Kind of hypocritical. Colleen used the fuck out of Trisha. Damn, they didn't hold back. All right, well, clearly this is going to be intense. So let's get to it. I actually really like Zack Sang. I think he's one of the only interviewers that I really enjoy because he's really up to speed with his pop culture. I love his Ariana Grande ones.
Of our time, I have the ability to be human, right?
Such a great voice, too.
All human beings have the ability to adapt and grow and learn and change and evolve, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully for the better, some for the worse, and some remain stagnant.
Who do you think has evolved for the worst?
I don't know. I think the obvious that comes top to mind because she's on my list to bring up is Colleen, because to watch someone take such an
not the giggle.
I mean, honestly, here's the deal. And this goes into something deeper, right? Parasocial relationships and the relationships we form with the people.
By the way, if anyone is interested in the parasocial relationship concept, I have made kind of like a sit-down video talking about it, but also my recent Emma Chamberlain video, Emma Chamberlain talks about the dangers of parasocial relationships that she has felt. I would really recommend going and watching it. I know we talk about it a lot. It's over there if you want to watch it.
Is Trish and or us, where we live honestly and authentically. And in this situation, we're consuming content from somebody who at face value on the surface is one thing. But the reality of the situation is like there's a real monster and a severely ill person that is underneath.
Yeah, it's scary.
And
Trisha looks good.
Exists in a world where like that's being enabled by viewership and or and taking in that person's content and commenting on it, liking it, supporting it in any way, without that person like managing it, seeking help, and then not involving minors and or it's dark and really, really wrong on the deepest of levels.
To me, I feel that way too. It's like, how are they not like deplatforming people who have like, it's proven that she's talking to people.
Trisha is literally dressed how she did on the Oversharing podcast. Remember they did the full Broadway thing? By the way, people were like, oh, I went back and rewatched Adam's videos before all of this kicked off where he was reacting to the Oversharing podcast. And oh my God, everything he said ended up happening. Y'all, when you don't lie, the truth will come out. And when the truth comes out, you'll be able to cross-reference that people involved have not been lying about anything, by the way. Because everyone was like, oh, when he said that she was doing this to Trisha, we ended up finding about that a couple of weeks later. Like, yes. Yes.
Because of her YouTube channel. I'm like, how does that like not take it away? You know what I mean? Like, it's bizarre. She just comes back. It's even more bizarre. Like, that's like it's more than a sociopath. Like, you just come back like nothing happened. Like, that's wild to me. It wasn't jokes. It wasn't this. It's like proven. And it's like crazy. Like, how is she not embarrassed? Like, how is she not? I would like never show my face again.
But by the way, she's actually supporting the theory that everything we've seen of her was an act. Because no human being who's being a human being and going through what she's going through could just turn on a camera and be themselves with everything, all the noise.
No.
She has been playing a character. And I think ultimately, and yes, everybody knew Miranda Sings was a character, but did everybody know that Colleen was a character?
Yeah, I don't think so. I feel like.
Whoa, that's a really, really, really interesting. Okay, Zack Sang, that's really interesting, which I've never thought about for some reason. Obviously, the comeback was very shocking, but that's such an interesting point of what normal person would be able to be called out for such things with so much proof, have hurt so many people. Your ex-husband is speaking out, ex-fans are speaking out, ex-friends are speaking out, and be able to come back as usual. Like, this isn't a case of ignoring the haters. Like, what normal person can be at the hands of that and feel that they can just completely ignore it? And that's such an interesting analogy that I never thought about, but that is so accurate. Like, not only, oh, she's so delusional for, just ignoring everything, but how is someone who was at the hands of that be able to come back and be like, hey, Taylor Swift and rocks? Like, that's what's going on there. Can you hear my stomach grumbling? I'm very hungry.
I mean, she was filming like Halloween. I mean, she's filming like the whole time. Like, her vlogs now are from like a couple months ago.
And that's a good point that Trisha's bringing up as well. I was focusing on her coming back, but yeah, in these vlogs, all of the Reddit are posting that she's doing throwbacks. I honestly cannot stomach the vlogs, so I'm just not watching them. Hand to God, hand to my fucking family's life. But I think that there's something interesting about the fact that people are resharing all of this like footage of her months and months ago, and it's like, wait, months and months ago this was happening, or months and months ago Josh did the interview, or months and months ago what's your name, B.O.B. started calling you Bob, like, and you were filming as usual, which is like, what sane person is so unaffected by that? And then what sane person would film themselves being like, hey, we're gonna do this, but then it's like, oh, I was so upset during this time. Clearly not. Clearly it didn't clearly there was no sense of processing. Clearly there was no sense of caring. Clearly there was just kind of taking my little vacation. And again, the Reddit had been like, oh, she's like teasing. Literally, there was a post on here, and apparently she's hyper obsessed with Taylor Swift right now. And apparently she's hyper obsessed with claiming that the footage from the past couple months is called like the vault, like Taylor's version, which is just so fucking weird, by the way. Like, ooh, you're teasing your footage that you were blissfully filming and, living your life during summer when all of this is going down, as I'm going to release this as like Taylor's version vault footage. That's so fucking weird. Like, there's like, what's not clicking?
Still comes back in time for Vlogmas. It's like still putting her kids out there. I'm like,
I think family vlog resources where they can go and do quality checks on all these family vloggers to really understand what's
By the way, thank you,
we don't live in that
Last
world,
Dust
but it is-
687 for uploading this.
There's a lot of pawns in that game, and I feel bad. I really feel bad.
They need to put restrictions on that, because that's like literally having your like children work from like an early age, and it's like every day, and it's like some of these vlogs. It is
Dude,
wild.
where's the Coogan account for them, man? Like,
Yeah.
where's a bunch of stuff? And
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, it's like, again, like, we thought she in particular, like, and that hurt me because she hurt you. And like,
Yeah.
I knew what that podcast meant to you.
Yeah.
But ultimately, things don't happen to us, they happen for us.
Yeah. That was a whirlwind this summer. And yeah, you're right. I mean, everything kind of led to like a better path, like weirdly, but it really did hurt us like on so many levels, because we financially set up that whole thing. Like, we paid for the set, and I paid for the editor. I paid for all the glams, all the costumes, like everything came out of our pockets. And like, the past couple of years, we definitely like struggled as far as like YouTube. Like if it was just YouTube, we wouldn't have like made the bills, thank God for like OF and stuff. But we were definitely like struggling.
OF doing archive content, right? Like it's not even
content.
new stuff.
Not even new stuff. So we were like lucky for that. And, it's not struggling, but like still it was like, we had taxes to pay, all that stuff like that. So it was like one of those things where we just like lost so much money, and it was just like we weren't in a position to like lose that money. And so it was just like a lot. And then for all of it to happen the way it did, and also just her lying, to be like in our house, like lying, just constantly saying like, oh, it's like, they do that. They send me pictures. They're the ones that are obsessed with you. Like just all this weird stuff. It's such a mind like fuck, really. It really is. It's just like, why did you lie? What was the point? Because we weren't like super close friends. And I even gave her outs. I was like, if you said this stuff about me, like I've talked crap about people in the past, like it's fine. Like we should just address it or something. Oh no, I would never. They would send me weird pictures of you. And I thought that was weird. And it was just like so odd. And then when it came out and she like admitted, oh yeah, sorry, I was a coward. I was like, girl, what is wrong with you? It's a lot. It's still like a lot when I think about it. I'm like, God, that's like a scary person when you don't know. Like you really just don't know. I don't know. But then did like start this whole podcast knowing she said did all that stuff.
I think there's something sad about the fact that Trisha was willing to give anybody an out, and obviously justifying it by being like, I talk shit about people, or, obviously nobody's perfect. But I think the fact that Trisha was so overly being like, if you've done this, it's okay as long as you be honest with me. And she still was like blaming me and blaming Johnny. Haven't heard that name in a while. Hey, Johnny. And then whenever it all came out, and that's something I'll always be very grateful to Johnny for, then she was like, oh, actually, I did do it. Just forgot to tell you. Trisha was giving you an out. I still believe that Trisha would have done the podcast if Colleen had given her that out. Maybe, maybe not, but I do believe.
That's a very weird thing.
And so many things are disturbing here. But the manipulation of so many people.
One thing that makes me really happy, I'm going to be honest, is that I know for a fact that, and I mean very much, the way Trisha talks about having to fund the entire podcast, that makes sense to me because the way that Trisha used to get talked about was very much so beneath them and low tier YouTube and all this bullshit, which is ironic because, her full thing is family vlogging now. Colleen, I mean. So I know that they were behind the scenes probably talking down about Trisha in this production, right? And that they needed Colleen. Like Colleen was gracing Trisha with the podcast. And to know that Trisha then went and did the Just Trish podcast, which I think is one of the greatest things she has ever done for her career, which is Just Trish, and is performing 10 times as well as what Colleen's vlogs are doing. Like, I mean 10 times as well. Huge props to Trisha, because I can only imagine the things that were being said behind Trisha's back about the podcast and how Colleen is saving Trisha and Trisha needs Colleen. I mean, Trisha's literally saying that Colleen was like, oh, well, I'm not going to put any money on this because I'll lose out when you get cancelled. And to know that it was the other way about, projection.
And you included, like, to think that you weren't manipulated would be really, we'd be blind to not think that, right? Like, she clearly had disdain for you, was talking a ton of shit for you, about you, but needed you for money and clout, and used you financially.
I think that Colleen knew that Trisha gets a lot of attention, which is obviously stuff we had talked about already, and that Trisha was very controversial, and Trisha gets talked about with drama. Now, there have been times in Colleen's life, I don't know if I've ever said this online, but there have been times in Colleen's career where she enjoyed people talking about her negatively. More specifically, the divorce. She really enjoyed the divorce speculating because she was really happy that the Haters Back Off was coming right after it, so more people were interested in Haters Back Off. There have been times throughout her career in which I've been talking to her that she has kind of utilized the negative attention. So what I believe happened was Colleen went on the Trisha podcast to get negative attention, but not too much negative attention, but enough that, people would be angry she was, hanging out with Trisha. And I mean, her fans in the moment were like, stop doing this, it's making us so upset. So that amount of people not liking you is fine because they're talking about you, but then it backfired and she got the people talking about her negatively.
And then, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I was so shook by all of it. And then I was like, I thought mutually we could like, if we put up the money for the set and stuff, I'm like, okay, she'll help us get ads. And then like last minute, she was kind of like, oh, I don't want you to be with my company because like, what if we get canceled because of you and they take away our ads from my podcast?
Exactly what I'm saying.
Ironically, we get canceled because of her. I was just like, and so we didn't have ads. So then I came up with a company to find us ads right before all this shit went down. It was crazy. So literally she contributed nothing and just was she's very bizarre. She's very, like you said, just like maybe unwell. Like I think
she contributed nothing and yet ruined it all.
Who like lies like that and then knowing they said that stuff. Like to me, I would just come clean. I'd be like, fuck yeah, like I did say that shit. Like I don't know. It's like weird knowing that's out there. Like the whole thing's bizarre. I'm a little out of loop.
Has she reached out to you since all of this came out?
No, the last one was the apology after those like texts came out where it was visibly like it was her friend like holding my like porn next to his face. I was like, this is very clearly your friend doing this. Like, who sends those photos? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's like a really weird, like, unwell person. And she sent those photos like months after she gave birth. Like, I was just like, what are you doing? Like, you just gave birth and you're sending like naked photos of me to like these fans. Like, and they were like spread eagle ones, like very graphic ones. I'm like, did she just have like this whole folder on her phone of me? The whole thing is scary because I was just like,
but then
who's this person?
Then to use you, like she didn't like disrespect you and like you are so sad, sis. And
yeah,
a part of me is like, I wish you help. I wish you healing. But like, in order for me to really fully wish that to you, you need to make amends properly with those you've hurt. And for that, like, I don't know, like, I don't know what justice looks like there.
Well, that's what I said too. I was like, she apologized to me, which is like, fine. I guess it's closure enough. At least I know she's like a piece of shit person. She did it. She admitted to it. But it's like for her to not do that to these like very vocal people who have evidence of her also being inappropriate with them. I was just like Adam, like she had lunch with him at 15 years old in like Dublin and like all this like weird stuff. I was just like, how are you like not apologizing to like that person? She like never said to me. That's like what's weird. It's like you can't just come back. She said she's talking to a therapist now, and the therapist told me to go back to vlogging. I'm like, there's no way the therapist told you to go back to vlogging.
But also, one thing that doesn't add up with she says the therapist told her to go back to vlogging. But if this vault footage is true, then she never stopped vlogging, which means that she never came back to vlogging. She was vlogging the entire time.
Not a thing a therapist would say if this is causing you stress.
The therapist was like, oh, how do I keep getting paid? She goes back to vlogging, and even if it's a train wreck, people are going to watch, and she's going to litter it with AdSense.
Then she has, yeah. And
yeah.
I know. It's all very, very gross. I mean, she really is the most like disturbed person on the internet. I can't believe she came back so fast, and I can't believe she's not like so ashamed. Like, it's bizarre.
And I'm gonna be honest, like she kind of always been like she's always rubbed me the wrong way, and I've known her many moons, and she's never been on our show ever. I've just known her like in social situations, and she's just always been she's just definitely jealous, conniving, wrong. Like just like
I didn't know that side at all. Like I said, we kind of talked as soon as I gave birth, and she was like a mommy vlogger. So I was like, okay, I'll like be friends with her because her kids or whatever. And we'd go to like her birthday parties for her kids. So like that's all I knew. I didn't know that side of her.
What do we learn from this? That things happen not to us but for us.
Okay, that's a great. You're so wise. That is true. That's very true.
I mean that like.
I think that's a beautiful way to to put it. You know, because Trisha now has these other career opportunities because that one fell through.
But ultimately, like, that only hurts you, right? And like,
definitely.
And I'm sure you see signs in human beings now from dealing with her that you can now apply as you bring new people into your life.
I don't know, man. I missed them so much. Like sometimes you're just like, how did I miss that? You know what I mean? Like I just missed the whole her being canceled, everything. Like I didn't know there was drama. To me, I thought, oh, she's like this wholesome YouTuber that no one has any issues with. So I had no idea. So I miss signs very clearly from so many things. So I really don't have like friends for that reason in general. Like I just don't keep in contact with people, like just because I don't really like people close to me in general for that reason. And then like stuff like that always happens. I'm like, I just trust the wrong people, but I keep everyone at a distance anyways. And now I really just like,
now you do it even more.
Yeah. I always tell people, like when they come on my podcast too, they always like want to hang out. I'm like, just so you know, I'm not really like a hangout person. Like I love you. And I love, like, that's why I love the podcast. It's like social hour for me. And then like, that's it, you know, because I'm not a hangout person. I think
Okay, thank you to last_dus687 for uploading that. Again, my closing thoughts on this is I'm glad that Trisha went through this and something good came out of it for her, you know what I mean? Which was kind of taking this more solo career on YouTube with podcasting. And it just is so ironic knowing the conversations that they were probably having about Trisha and the fact that they would be getting, you know, her and Corey would be getting backlash and people would be pissed at them and they'd be getting a new hate audience, which they do enjoy to a degree. And then it just completely flipped. And to kind of turn it around on Trisha and be like, well, we can't make money because of you. I can't let you use my companies because of you. Like, and then look at Trisha and then look at Colleen. There's a clear difference. Anyway, thank you all for sending this to me about the Zack Sang show. I really enjoy watching his podcast. I really, really, really like his show. And it was interesting hearing that from Trisha. And again, just how little Colleen contributed to the actual one piece of work she did with Trisha. I thought her full thing was being the one that does all the work. Anyway, I will talk to you all later. I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you in my next one. And bye. I gotta get myself an outfit like Trisha and that wig too. I'll look like that in my next video. Bye.